Shalom, shalom, family. All glory and praise to the Most High God in the name of His only begotten Son. My name is Saint Salem, coming back at you with some more precepts. Sharpening iron with iron, dividing spoil among the flock. Today's Sunday, so we're going over in the book of Sirach. I'm going in the book of Sirach, touching on the particular verse where it's going into drinking wine and having discipline and the spirit. Having control over your spirit and how the wisdom of the Lord gives you discipline. So I'm starting this off going into Sirach. Now the book of Sirach, it goes over many things. Really showing you how to be a man, how to be a young man of wisdom. Teach you how to go over the parables and prophecies, how to be a good son, how to be a good father, how to be a good husband. And there's one particular passage that goes over being able to control your spirit. So let's go into it. Okay, now I'm in the book of Sirach in Ecclesiasticus 19:2. It says, wine and women will make men of understanding to fall away, and he that cleaveth to harlots will become impudent. Moths and worms shall have him to heritage, and a bold man shall be taken away. Right? So wine and women will make men of understanding fall away. Even somebody like King Solomon. You understand? But when it's going into the women part, when his sin, most people think his sin was having all those wives. No, his sin was idolatry. But the women caused him to fall away. If he would just hearken to Deuteronomy 17, where it tells him, a king shall not multiply wives, prophetic. So really showing you that the scriptures speak on a prophetic level, and it's wisdom. It's wisdom. The law is wisdom. So everything that Moses was putting forth, it was for our learning, to listen and take heed to, So when Sirach says wine and women will make men of understanding to fall away, he's speaking that from the scriptures that we read, and maybe his own experience. Who knows? But we understand that the law and the history of the scriptures lay this out for us. It's laid out. We understand that wine and women will make men of understanding to fall away. Now let's get more scriptures on that. Now here's another scripture. Now we in the book of Proverbs. We spoke about King Solomon. He also understood. He says in Proverbs 21st chapter in the 17th verse, He that loveth pleasure shall be a poor man, and he that loveth wine and oil shall not be rich. Right? So we keep seeing these scriptures about how wine can lead you astray if you allow it to make a fool out of you. You understand? You have to know how to hold your liquor, Jake. You have to know how to be able to moderate your intake on this alcohol. Right? Many brothers are alcoholics, hard on the bottle. But the scriptures speak about, if you a wise man, you're not entrapped. You're not taken by that advice, man. You got to be able to control your temple. You got to be able to control your temple. Because he that loveth pleasure shall be a poor man. You're going to be a poor man from not being able to discipline yourself. This pleasure, this thing that pleasure your flesh so much, it's not helping your spirit. And he that loveth wine and oil shall not be rich. You know? So now I'm in Sirach 31 and 25. It says, show not thy valiantness in wine, for wine have destroyed many. You see, so wine has destroyed many. I done seen many brothers, man. Many brothers may have had talents and, was on the verge of making some out of themselves, but that bottle, they couldn't let that bottle go. I've seen many brothers struggle, and you try to help those brothers, you try to be a good counsel, but all in all, it's their faith and they hope in God, you know. But the scriptures teach us how to move and how to do things in moderation, right? So it says, the furnace proveth the edge by dipping, so doth wine the hearts of the proud by drunkenness. Verse 27. Wine is as good as life to a man if it be drunk moderately. What life is then to a man that is without wine, for it was made to make men glad. You see, so the scriptures is not against the use of drinking wine. The scriptures is not against man having a sip, having a glass of wine, but if it be drunk moderately, the scriptures speak about how the wisdom of the Lord gives you discipline. So we have to stay disciplined, brothers. We have to stay in it. Your treasure has to be in heavenly things, man. It's very important. When brothers leaning on a bottle, it means your treasure is not in heavenly things. Your treasure is in earthly things. You love pleasure, and he that loveth pleasure shall be poor, man. It just told you that in the scriptures. So moderation. Wine is as good as life to a man. After a long day of work, you want a glass of wine. But if it be drunk moderately, right? Verse 28 says, wine measurably drunk and in season bringeth gladness of the heart and cheerfulness of the mind. So it brings cheerfulness of the mind. So let's see how far I want to go with this. Verse 29, but wine drunken with excess, but wine drunken with excess make a bitterness of the mind and brawling and quarreling. Look, now you want to fight, you know? Now you want to get into it and and you messing up the whole night for everybody. It make a bitterness of the mind with brawling and quarreling. Bitterness of the mind. Now you remembering old things that you was mad at old boy about. Now you bringing up old stuff. You see, and brawling and quarreling. Now you want to fight. You see, so some brothers can't have a sip of wine at the Passover. No, you can't, bro. You can't drink at the Passover. Cause one shot for you turned into, now we got to break up a fight and shit for you. So let's get more scriptures on that. Okay. So now I'm in the book of Hosea, chapter 4 and 11. He says, whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. So that's very straight to the point. Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. So you if you will, if the bottle was too heavy for you, man, you gotta learn to put that down. And we see that it always say wine and women or whoredom and wine. Why is that? Because most of the time those two go hand in hand. Brothers, we see it nowadays. Brothers making these bad decisions with all this baby mama drama out here, man. And you asking them, you hit that, man? You did that with that? Or why you make that bad decision? Like you ain't know who she was? Or I was drunk. Or I was high. You know? So wine can make a fool out of you, man. Your vices can make a fool out of you. You understand? Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. And this was going into the northern kingdom and how they was whoring for idols. Right? My people, verse 12, my people act counsel with their stocks and their staff declare unto them. For the spirit of whoredoms have caused them to err, and they have gone a whoring from under their God. You know, they sacrifice upon tops of the mountains and burn incense upon the hills under oaks and poplars and elms, because the shadow thereof is good. Therefore your daughter shall commit whoredom, and your spouses shall commit adultery. Right? So that's what he was going into. The whoredom. The whoredom of these other gods, man. And that's going into how, and we also know that Babylon has the whole world drunk off of the wine of her doctrines, right? The wisdom of the left hand side wisdom, right? That's not the wisdom of the Lord. We know that this is a Babylonian society. So, and the idols here, our people still going to whore and getting into whoredom after other gods. Our people still doing this. All right, so let's get one more. Okay, so now I'm in the book of Matthew, and this is red letter. It says, this is Matthew 24 and 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So, just like how they was in the days of Noah, so when the Lord make his return, men will be still having the same motivations and doing the same things. Verse 38, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving it in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Verse 39, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Right? So this is the whole point of this, the whole point of me doing this sharing this with you brothers, man. You gonna get caught out there, man. It say the Lord shall return like a thief in the night. Right? So if you so heavy on the bottle, man, or you so heavy on whatever you got going on, your substance, whether you get high, whatever, you gonna get caught out there. You ain't gonna know what's going on. You ain't paying attention to prophecy. You don't know no parables. You know, you on the internet, clickety clack, arguing with brothers on the comment section. You see, it's other stuff to get into, man. It's other stuffs about this. There's other things about these scriptures that you can get into, right? But brothers drunk on a double plane. They drunk physically and drunk spiritually, right? And with all these different doctrines, right? So Christ was basically saying, look, Yahushua was basically saying, listen, they're gonna be drunk, man. People gonna be drinking and eating and getting married and having a good time, and enjoying living it up. But when that time come, that just like in the days of Noah, when they didn't know that the destruction was coming, it's gonna come and swoop everybody up. It's gonna be too late. So Jake, you gotta get it together, right? Get off the bottle, man. All right, so I just wanted to get one more. First Thessalonians chapter 5, and this is Paul's letters to Thessalonica. It says, verse 6, therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. So it's not just talking about drinking physically, but there is an element of that there, being sober uh and not being so heavy on the bottle, but also spiritually. Brothers is into many different things. And when you're drunk, you sloppy, you falling over, you can't speak right, you saying crazy things. So man, we gotta get it together. Brothers gotta get sober so we can watch and be ready for the for what's eventually coming, for what's eventually gonna happen. And with that, I'm gonna yield. I give all glory and praise to Most High God, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Rakatah, and Shalom.